Welcome to the Holyland Dispatch podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Holyland Dispatch podcast. Today I want to talk a bit about journeys. Life is of course full of them, and life itself is one. From the moment we're born until the day we die, we go through what might be best described as a roller coaster or a journey through the jungle. We start as kids when we have near zero control over the direction. Go to sleep, wake up, eat this, don't eat that, time to go to kindergarten, time to eat. The only influence we have is, let's face it, by emotional extortion. We learn how to be cute or cry in order to soften our parents' hearts. But that has very little impact on the bigger picture. We're still following the path laid out by our parents, and generally speaking, we can at least find comfort in them having our best interest in their hearts and minds. This part of the journey, though, is also characterized by us having near zero responsibility. Oh, I broke my dad's computer? Never mind, he'll buy a new one. Oh, I ruined mom's gift basket? Never mind, her ill grandma would understand. We do as our parents tell us, and when we mess up, regardless of the significance, we don't really face the consequences ourselves. In Judaism, as in most societies, this is the norm. Up until a certain age, the human being bears little to no responsibility. This changes when the child is expected to become an adult. Throughout history, we've seen a very different thresholds defined as adulthood. They mostly depended on physical strength and capabilities when it concerned boys, and sadly puberty when concerning girls. Early human societies concerned themselves purely with survival and had no knowledge of psychology nor the desire to gain it. Later on, when our kind reached a phase when existence was more stable, they found the time to reflect, albeit shortly, on what childhood is about. As we fast forward in most societies, the age of adulthood was settled somewhere between 18 and 21, with many caveats, mostly when it comes to criminal responsibilities. Still, the marking of a certain age as adulthood, although backed by studies and experience, only serves as a tool for us to make general decisions. Why 18 and not 17? Why 21 and not 22? Well, the long and short of it is that you have to draw the line somewhere, especially in societies that operates within a set of agreed rules. In Judaism, a boy takes on adult responsibilities at 13 years of age. A girl is considered responsible a year earlier. At face value, this sounds quite unsettling. Leaving the boy aside for a moment, a girl? At 12? An adult? Well, the answer is yes and no. We need to consider a couple of things before we get to answer these troubling questions. To do so, I'd like to go all the way back to the book of Genesis. In Genesis 12:1, God tells Abraham one of the most famous sentences from the Bible. Go forth from your native land and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. Anyone who studied an hour of Bible must know this one, especially Jews. This is the beginning not only of Abraham's journey as described in the Bible, but also the beginning of the bigger journey, that of the people of Israel. One cannot overstate the importance of this verse in the context of the Jewish nation. It is a cornerstone in our belief, in our lives today and throughout history. Books, essays, and commentary about this was and will be written as it transcends human understanding. It is obviously a Jewish foundation, but it is also a foundation laid out for all humanity, no less. How do we understand this verse? We'll discuss 3 ways. 1. Simplistic. God talks to Abraham and says, "Get out from this location dominated by pagans, denounce this way of life, and go to a better place which I will show you." The location is geographical, and the people in this geographic place are immoral. God does not want Abraham to live in this wicked and corrupted society, so he wants to guide him to a far better one, namely Israel. And so, Abraham denounces paganism, rebels against this society, and leaves to go on a journey to the land of Canaan, where he will settle and live a life full of meaning. This view is what we teach our first graders, as their minds are equipped to handle this level of understanding. It's engaging, at times even fun. After all, we're reading a story and kids love stories. There are adventures, twists and turns, we have a hero to follow and foes to defeat. There are miracles and wonders, you name it. The second way to look at it is somewhat psychological. Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about this at length in some of his lectures, and I find it very adequate and enlightening. When we read this verse through the psychological lens, what God tells Abraham is, "Leave your comfort zone and go on an adventure that I will take you on." It's a story as old as time, is it not? We can look at this as the beginning of adulthood. When we read the Bible as adults, we must recognize that the stories are not just stories as a form of entertainment. There's a reason the Bible resonates throughout the ages. The reason is that it has layers of wisdom, and as we grow up, we learn how to peel them until we find meaning. This is also a kind of a journey all of its own, our search for meaning. Through the psychological lens, we understand that God is pushing Abraham to challenge himself, and not only himself. He is encouraged to leave his father's house, and this is not just meant physically. Abraham is expected to figure things out for himself. He is pushed to seek wisdom outside of his comfort zone. These are things that we expect our own kids to do when they grow up. And if we read the Bible as something more than a story, then we must understand that Abraham is not to be read as a specific person. Abraham, one of our forefathers, is an archetype, a template, an example for how we might be expected to operate in God's world. I highly recommend digging into Dr. Peterson's writing and speech about this in far greater depth than we can achieve here. This was the second way we can view this verse. The third way is the way I learned from the Holy Zohar. The Kabbalistic view, the way people who delved into the deepest mechanics of the world view this sentence, is the way an individual is expected to view it. The Torah is not a revolutionary manifesto. We're not reading the Torah in order to change the world. We read and learn it in order to do one thing and one thing only, to change oneself. That is why every Jew is expected to study it, not to get a degree or be recognized as a wise old man, not to achieve any kind of greatness. Judaism is a religion with a purpose, a religion with a clear aim. That aim is hinted at in the verse we read here. Go forth from your native land and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. Those of you who've followed the Holyland Dispatch might be able to guess what I'm going to say next. God talks to Abraham. God is inside of Abraham. Well as outside, but let's leave that for another day. And Abraham gets the message that he is supposed to go on a journey. What is this journey? Where from? Where to? Well, we are not just physical bodies. In fact, our bodies are simple and limited tools which our true selves are using in this consciousness we call the world. The world as we experience through our five senses is a space in which our bodies operate, but moving from one physical location to another is at best a byproduct. The journey Abraham is expected to embark on is of course internal. Abraham lived in a consciousness not unlike the one we all live in now, a pagan consciousness, a consciousness that elevates materialistic richness over most other things, a consciousness that puts me in the center of existence and serves me only, or at best me first. And so Abraham understands he needs to elevate himself. God is telling Abraham to leave his selfish, pagan, materialistic consciousness and elevate to the consciousness he would show him. It's the consciousness for which this world was created. We're here in order to embark on the journey to this consciousness, the highest one we can reach. You've guessed correctly. This is the consciousness we call Israel. Yes, there is a physical location called Israel, and thank God there is a state called Israel. Yes, there is critical importance for both. However, one can live in the state of Israel, in the land of Israel, and let's face it, most of us do, without getting anywhere near the consciousness of Israel. That is why it's not enough to do Aliyah. We must learn Torah. We must understand what it's all about and how to use the wisdom in it. We must reach adulthood. We must go forth from our native land and from our father's house to the land that God will show us. In fact, He already has, if we know where to read and how to read it. So, in Judaism, a boy is considered an adult at 13. We do a nice ceremony and call it Bar Mitzvah, which literally means committed to the commandments, and voila, adult. Well, not so fast there, buddy. Are you an adult? Why? Just because you read a few lines in the Torah and put a set of tefillin on? Boy, do I have news for you. The expectation is that at 13 years of age, one might be able to reach the stage where he can embark on that Abrahamic journey. That would indeed make him an adult. But adulthood in Judaism starts at 13 years and a day. That 13 part is fairly easy. Assuming your parents are borderline capable, you will most likely reach 13. But that day? Oh man, this day can last a lifetime. I'm well over 13 and looking back at my life, I can attest that I wasn't anywhere near adulthood at 13. I wasn't even tickling adulthood at 18 or 21. From the perspective of the Abrahamic journey, I embarked on my journey way later. This is true for girls too. No 12-year-old girl is considered a woman or an adult. She most definitely isn't one. She takes on the responsibilities of an adult woman only where the commandments are concerned. Making the leap from fulfilling duties towards God and what humans consider adulthood to be is, well, ungodly. Abraham is a template or an archetype. His journey is our own. His ascendance to the consciousness of Israel is our inspiration, our journey. It's our duty. In fact, God made this world so we can embark on it. Time to grow up. Thank you all for once again joining me on the Holyland Dispatch podcast. God bless.
Bye.